Hello, Terry Duncan here. Thank you for joining me today. We are going to take a look at a new technique, at least new to me, that I learned over the weekend at the Crop and Create Delivered event. I'm going to start by showing you the materials that we're going to use. We're going to use a strip die. This one is from Stamp Market. But I'll share with you that Gina K just came out in her new Master Layouts version 8. She's got a set of strips too. Now these are a little bit wider. The ones that we're going to be using are the Stamp Market, and they're 1/8" strips. They also carry 1/4 and 1/2" strips, but we're going to use the 1/8" strip because our design is going to be very intricate. So then we're also going to be using a die that spells out congrats, and this die is from Tailored Expressions. This is what we're basically going to do. I put it on an angle to create some interest, and then I used a Waffle Flower A2 rectangles die, and this one measures 3 by 4 1/4. I also used Master Layouts 1 die that cuts a rectangle 3 3/4 by 5, and I did that on some pattern paper. This is Gina K, Made with Love, and I picked this color. So I die cut everything so that you didn't have to sit and watch me do that. So let's get started. I've already cut out my strips too. I'm going with the teal variant, and the products that I'm using for that are Altenews Seashore. This is the Gradient cardstock set, and it comes with 4 tones of the same color. So what I'm going to do is take my card panel, and I'm just going to use a piece of scrap paper, and I'm going to use a tape runner and just run that glue right over. And you have to be really careful because this is an intricate, in fact, I think I'm going to turn this way. And I'm just going to run that glue clear across the sentiment. You don't want to do what I just did when I started and put it all over the back, because you really don't need that much. You don't want to waste your adhesive. So now I can take this off of my paper that I was using to protect my work surface. And I'm going to start with this color. And I'm just going to try to line it up with the tops of most of the letters. You might want to clean up any little pieces that are left over from die cutting. But see, you can, that's pretty much our base, or what we're going to work off of. Now I'm going to take the next color up, and I'm going to put it right next to that first one, and you want to make sure that they are butted up good and tight. And the next one, and I'm just going to keep going here. And I'm going to speed this up. Okay, there. And isn't that pretty? So if you have a little bit of glue, I usually just run my fingers over. You can do this to burnish, but you can also rub it to get rid of any of that shiny adhesive that was sticking through. And then I just use a scissors and cut those bits off. Okay, now I have an A2 sized card base out of white Neenah Classic Crest 110 pound solar white. I'm going to attach the pattern paper using a glue runner. This is repositionable. I tend to have trouble getting things straight the first time, so I always invest in the replaceable or removable. And I stand up to get that lined up. You can see I cut it just slightly smaller than the card base to leave a nice white frame. Now, I've also cut a piece of double-sided foam sheet, double-sided adhesive foam sheet, and it's just an 1/8 inch smaller than my little card panel here. So I'm going to remove the backing paper and get that lined up. And I usually try and line it up on the long side as close as I can. That way I know it'll fit on the rest of it. And then I'm going to remove the other side. And then line it up and stick it on. And there you have a beautiful card that just takes minutes to do. I hope you enjoyed this.